He's getting worse. This is so awkward.
The Singapore art scene is buzzing with excitement, with artists we dare say are very out of the box.
As artists ourselves, we love being surprised and wowed by all the creativity out there.
So, it's time for us to take turns to scour the island and reveal our very own brand of Made in SG artists.
In each episode, we will seek out a mystery box that contains clues and tools that will lead us to them.
Then we'll be tasked to learn their craft, and it's never as easy as it looks.
I'm all fired up. It's time for some unboxing.
Hi, I'm Marc Valentine.
And I'm Sharda Harrison.
Join us on
Unboxing Art.
So here I am at 313 Somerset. First time in the show that I've been sent to a mall. What could I possibly learn here? Let's find out. Wow, this shop, limited ed. I've got a sneakerhead friend who loves this place. Sneaker design. No? So obvious. Let's see what we have here. Gloves, tweezers, glue. Are we going to be making shoes, not designing them? Biophilia, a hypothetical human tendency to interact or be closely associated with other forms of life in nature. A desire or tendency to commune with nature. Guys, we're in a sneaker shop in a shopping mall. Is this a mistake? Wow, this looks beautiful. Look at all these kicks amongst the greenery. I love the blend of urban and nature. You know what this reminds me of? I'm one with nature. One with nature. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Wait, nature? Biophilia. Invention, founded by Ming Kuang.
Yes. Hi, I'm Ming Kuang, a 33-year-old botanical artist passionate about reconnecting you with nature. In 2014, I co-founded Inner Atelier. We specialize in landscape consultancy work, crafting personalized botanical gifts like terrariums, and creating bespoke Mossstallations to green up your indoor spaces without the need for maintenance. Mossstallation is a playful term coined by us, consisting of the words moss and installation. By mindfully enhancing spaces, we aim to enrich lives one moss at a time.
I've never heard of the term biophilia before. I really do feel an implicit connection to nature.
It's actually something that grounds us and something that we experience firsthand with our clients as well.
And also, botanical art seems so apt in Singapore. Garden city and all, especially with the recent emphasis on sustainability.
Exactly, so now you get it.
Well then, I think it's safe to conclude that I'll be learning from you. So, what's the best way in for a beginner like me?
So the very first thing that we can do for moss art is we can start simple and also small scale,
Right.
using a smaller frame. And if you do that reasonably well, we can move on to something that's slightly more challenging, like the moss sculpturing. We can proceed to our client's place, where I can share with you more architectural and interior consideration for the Mossstallation.
Wow, that's a lot of work. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Inner Atelier.
Wow, this is really like a slice of nature smack in the middle of urbanization.
Yes, practice what you preach, right? Come, this way, please. Right. So over here at this shelf is where we keep all our terrariums. So as you can see over here, our terrariums, they are all only made using one single botanical element, which are the mosses. So being with an architectural background myself, right, I'm actually very sensitive to scale and proportion. When we build our terrariums, we would encourage our clients to imagine themselves as a tiny figurine, exploring the spaces of the terrarium from the inside out. See yourself as part of this story, see yourself as part of this narrative.
Then what about the big one over there?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is interesting. So this one was built with the intention of a 360-degree view. And this terrarium was actually built with the intention of mimicking a mountainous landscape. We wanted our clients to kind of like imagine themselves transiting through the buildings and eventually reaching the peak of the mountain.
It's really beautiful. Will I be doing something like this today?
You're doing something even more interesting. Come, follow me.
Wow.
So Marc, today we'll be making a moss frame. Do you have any idea what you want to portray?
How about unboxing art.
Unboxing art.
Yeah, like a little gift to the show.
I think that's possible. So what I have in mind is maybe we can do a signage over here for unboxing art. And then we will use the materials here, the mosses here, to create a background for that signage.
Oh, okay.
So what we have over here is called a corkbark, the reindeer moss. Okay, this is called a flat moss, and these are called the ball moss. So you can use them to create different kind of composition for your moss frame.
This is exciting. Let's start.
To create a signage, Ming Kuang starts by drawing out the design using a computer software. This design is then sent over to a gigantic laser cutting machine that looks like it was stolen from a factory. Just kidding. It destroyed his wallet. The process of the laser cutting is incredibly cool to look at and incredibly enabling for the inner OCD.
So Marc, now that we are done with the laser cutting, okay, the next step that we need to do is to attach this to the frame. So what we do is we need to drill holes to allow the probe to be inserted. Let's go.
How did this moss art come about?
I was always exposed to nature. So growing up, I knew that all these botanical elements actually bring some form of joy to me, but I just couldn't understand why. So it was until when I went to university and I did more research on that, and I realized the concept of biophilia and how we can adopt biophilia in part of our design to enhance our daily lives and also our personal well-being. Now you can do a test to make sure that this signage actually sticks onto this.
Okay.
You can actually change the logo over time, right? You can actually take this out, get me to do another logo for you, another signage for you, and you can change the logo up. So this frame becomes very versatile. Now the next step that we need to do, we can start laying the mosses onto this frame. So we have this thing called a corkbark, right? Now you can actually break them apart to smaller pieces as well, like that. Okay? And then you can use the different angular parts over here to create very nice texture.
Moss art is a very niche thing in Singapore. Was it very difficult to start?
So people think that mosses are actually very hard to maintain, but in fact, they are zero maintenance. You do not need to water them at all. In fact, if you water them, it's actually detrimental to the moss frame, to the preserved moss especially. So because they actually gone through a state of preservation, they are in a state whereby they are neither living nor dead. So I have a client who actually approached us. So they visited New Zealand for their honeymoon. So they sent me some pictures of their honeymoon trips, you know, the scenery that they have seen, and they want me to recreate that. My style over here is we try to imagine ourselves as a tiny figurine, right, exploring this entire landscape from a bird's eye view. I think the biggest challenge is we need to educate the public on what this is. Would this attract insects? Do I need to put this under sunlight?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Do I?
The answer is no.
Oh, I think we're getting somewhere.
Not bad, right? Now, this signage over here, right, do you see that there's this brown film at the back? You can start removing this so that you will have a transparent backing logo. Just peel from the side. Yeah, just peel it slowly.
I'm gonna do it now. Oh, wait. It's getting worse. This is so awkward. Oh, okay, it looks so different now.
So the next step we need to do is we need to use this glue. It's a very strong glue.
Let me try it now. There you go. Whew. Okay, there we go. Put it here. Okay.
If you think that you have mount them properly, they should be able to stand upright.
1, 2, 3. Oh!
Nothing dropped. Congratulations.
I did it. Brilliant.
So yeah, that's it. Congratulations. I tell you what, I'll give you a break. I have a red toolbox at the back of the room there. Can you help me get it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Red toolbox, red toolbox, red toolbox, red. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Oh, you found your second task. So I've been working on this for quite a while already. So after the limited ad moss sculpture, I thought I could challenge myself and do more. Why don't you help me bring this out?
Now, for my second task, moss sculpturing.
The next thing that we're going to do is this thing called the dry brushing. I'll teach you how to use the application of the paint and to add more details to this rock sculpture over here. The edges of the rock, right? And you just apply lightly. So by doing so, you are giving more details to this rock over here. Do you see that the edges are more pronounced? Here, try.
Okay. What do your friends and family think about what you do?
When I decided to make the shift from architecture over to this business full-fledged, my friends and families and even relatives are in shock. I decided to make the big jump just right before COVID. I think this is where my passion lies. So this to me is passion. Interest, on the other hand, is architecture for me. After I started doing this full-time, I do not feel any form of stress anymore. And I'm not kidding you. I believe this phrase, when you love what you do not really have to work another day. Can you see that the before and after?
Yes.
You're creating a very, very dynamic and also very interesting part over here. I can see the profile of these edges a lot more now. I've managed to touch up a little bit on the moss frame that you have done earlier on.
Wow, I'm very sure our EP is going to love this. Look at this.
As promised, I now get to invade a client's house and steal some ideas for my own home.
Hi.
Ming Kuang.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, come in.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us at such short notice.
No problem. Ming Kuang's work deserves to be seen.
Wow, beautiful house. Wow, you did this by yourself?
Yes, I did.
My wife and I, we both love art and we both love nature, and we decided to incorporate these two elements when we shifted in. The words read Peng Shi, which means Peng, my surname, Shi meaning my household. And what we love about this preserved moss installation is the 3D effect, the natural elements such as the branch and the rocky composition. I'll leave the two of you to it.
Thank you. It must be different placing your Mossstallation in an interior residential space.
So even before we decide on the design of the moss frame, there is certain aspect that we need to look at, which is the context of where the Mossstallation is going to be placed at. So is it going to be placed in an office area where you have a lot of people walking around and appreciating it daily? Or is it in a residential space where it's a lot more intimate and a lot more private? We can look at maybe the lighting effect of the space. We can look at the wall colors. We can also even look at the interior design of the house. I find that this wall space to be the most suitable. Okay, I use the aircon length as the reference point and also the shelving height as another reference point. And with these two reference points, right, I have derived a size that is suitable for the wall size.
Now I see how it all comes together.
Now you try. Where do you think this moss frame will fit in this house?
Over there?
Let's try.
Oh, yes, this is the perfect spot. Perfect spot because we have two sources of light, the sunlight as well as the track lights. Perfect color scheme, white, gray, and black. Centralized to the television.
Great. I think you scored all the points. And I think you did a very good job.
Thank you. I've got a few more questions to ask you. Can we take a seat? In-out atelier.
How did you come up with the name?
I find myself unknowingly putting the figurines inside and imagining myself exploring the spaces of the terrarium from the inside out. And it's this inside and outside relationship that we're really trying to define over here. And that's why we call ourselves In-Out Atelier.
Can you tell me a little bit more about In-Out Atelier's dream and perhaps your dream as well?
Our end goal is to establish a terrarium cafe. So this terrarium cafe that I had in mind is, you just have to imagine this as a glass house. Now the ground floor of this cafe will be a cafe. The mezzanine level is where we will continue our studio work. But we can also potentially expand into biophilia design for interior design.
Ming Kuang's work goes beyond mere aesthetics. He embodies a certain duty that brings to light the beauty of nature. Personally, working with Ming Kuang gave me a newfound appreciation towards botanical art. These are not just decorative pieces. These are art pieces created as physical reminders that nature is within us all.